and today will be my lighting tutorial that I promised you guys on using LED lights to do photo shoots itself. And for this particular shoot is the shot of Ishtar, and thanks to Riiyuukii, my model here, she is helping me, for this photo shoot. And let me teach you guys how I actually light this scene up. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions, and I want to thank again to Riiyuukii. You can actually follow her YouTube page below. And then she helped me model for this particular shoot here, and I'll teach you guys how I actually light the photo for this particular shot. Now, if you notice this particular shot, the character is Ishtar. It's a cosplay shoot, of course, and it is a curtain setting where I actually laid out a few curtains. Today will be a lighting tutorial where I talk about how I actually light this scene up. And on my table here is all the equipment I use except for the softbox, which is below here. Now, the equipment are all from Nanlite. This is the Mixed Panel 60. This is the Forza 60B, the bi-color version of the light that can actually change the modifier. This is the Forza 60, which is a single color 5600 Kelvin version. And then this is a spot projector. This is the 36-degree version. And then this is a Fresnel. All these are equipment I use for this particular photo shoot. Now, this particular photo shoot can show you behind the scenes, and you can see all the lighting's position. Bottom left hand is actually the Forza 60B with a softbox. Top right hand back is the Mixed Panel 60 together with the spot projector and the Forza 60 itself. Now, let me explain to you the lighting itself. Now, the setting itself is a curtain setting, and there are curtains bent in U shape so that they give a bit of interest and texture to the background. And how I light up the entire background is using the Mixed Panel 60. This acts as a environment fill light that will actually fill from the back. So you get this light effect that's coming from the top right hand down, and it also casts a little bit of shadow onto the the cloth itself to give a bit of texture. So this is how I light the background itself. Next, I will use the spot projector and the Forza 60 here. This acts as a point light from the back, and it also highlights the model. So this light comes from the top right hand, shines on the model, lights her back up, and also creates a spotlight on the ground. And it actually makes the photo a little bit more contrasty. Now notice that both of these lights are in the same position because you want to have this effect that all the light comes from one point coming downwards, shining onto your subject itself. Now, if you notice, all the light has so far been top right hand to the back, so the model is not littered. So you need to light the model from the front. And how you do that, for me at least, is the Forza 60B. This is a bi-color Forza together with a softbox itself. This is I think it's a 60cm softbox for the Forza 60B. Now, the Forza 60B is very unique because it's a bi-color light. I set it at 6500 Kelvin so that I get this very silverish blue skin tone that you see in this photo here. And then I will use this cooler light and then do a fill light from the front to the bottom left hand side. Now, if you put a light at this kind of position, normally it acts like a reflector. And because there is a very strong harsh light from the top right, people can accept it that light is reflecting off from the ground or some sort of reflective source and shining onto the subject. It doesn't look that unnatural. It still looks like there's only one light in the scene with a reflector. And then when you actually put a light from the bottom left-hand side, I did notice that it always gives a catch light no matter how. And this catch light is very attractive, makes your model's eyes glow. And for the purpose of cosplay, it makes your subject really beautiful. And that's really about it. This is the lighting setup. So once again, Mixed Panel as the environment fill light to the top right-hand back. Then the spot projector with the Forza 60 as the highlight on the subject's body and also creates a spot onto the ground. Then the Forza 60B together with the softbox as a fill light, and this Forza 60B is at 6500 Kelvin to give a very bluish, silverish skin tone to the subject itself. Now, there is alternative to all the lighting. If you don't have a spot projector, because that is quite costly, it is a lot more costly than the Fresnel, and you can actually use the Fresnel as an alternative. But I did notice that the Fresnel is not a hard light, not as a hard light as a spot projector. So if you really want the hard light feel you see in the photo, the spot projector is still a better choice. Now, if you don't want to use continuous lighting, LED lightings like me, you want to use flash, it can all be replaced with speed light. You just need Firstly, rather than this panel here, you will need a speedlight together with a softbox. 60cm softbox or 80cm softbox is enough. You don't need really huge one for the environment lighting. Then you can use one speedlight raw, but instead of having some sort of modifier, you just need to zoom in all the way. Some speedlights can zoom in up to 110mm, and that will give you the same spot effect on the subject itself. Once again, it is not as edgy and hard as a spot projector, but if you just want a spotlight, you can get it easily with a speedlight itself. And if you really want a hard edgy feel, you will still need to get some sort of a spot projector modifier for your speedlight. And lastly, the bottom left-hand front fill light, you can use any speedlight with a 60cm softbox itself. The only difference is because this is a bicolor and you don't have the luxury of a bicolor in the speedlight, you probably need to put about a quarter CTB or 1/8 CTB, color to blue gel to be exact, in front of your flash itself to get that slightly bluish tone onto the skin as a fill light to get that silvery skin effect you see in the photos here. And that's really about it. Now, I shot the photo with my GFX100 and 80mm. You can shoot your shot easily with any full frame APS-C as long as somewhat equivalent to 60-something mm, and you can get the same look in this photo here. And because this is lighted totally out artificial lighting, there is not much dynamic range to speak of, so using a GFX or not really doesn't matter for this particular shot. And really, that's about it for this lighting tutorial. It is short, it is easy, and really, the whole point is the concept of lighting the environment and then making sure that your environment has some sort of interest by having the U-shaped cloth to get a little bit of shadow and texture, then giving you that harsh, contrasty highlight from the back, and then followed by a fill light that is slightly bluish to get the silvery skin tone. And that's about it. I hope you enjoy this lighting tutorial using purely LED lights from Nanlite. Now, these days I'm mixing with Aputure lights or mixing with some other brand of lights. It depends on whatever I fancy that day. But I can tell you that this light setup is not very expensive. It's relatively affordable, and if you ask me, the effect is really nice. That's about it. I hope you enjoy this LED lighting tutorial, and I will see you next time. Once again, thank to Riiyuukii as the cosplayer, Ishtar, in this particular shot here. And if you like her photos, do follow her YouTube or click onto her Instagram or Facebook, which all I will link below. And that's about it. I hope to see you guys again in my next tutorial. Till then, bye-bye.